Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Rundown, episode 2. I know I kind of executive decision that name, but I think it's pretty cool, and didn't seem to have too much of an issue with it, Brian.
No, I like it. It's dope.
Yeah, yeah, but yes. Today, I did a little bit more preparation for our, escapades today compared to the last episode. I'm going to start sharing my screen, and I want to show you a particular video.
Okay, let's see.
You're and I mean, let's be clear, you're an actor, right, Brian?
Yep, people should know that about me.
Yep, and you are a very good actor. I would also like to include in that. I've seen you both like make your own skits, and I've seen you do plenty of other great things. Let's let's look at this real quick. I want to get your general opinion. I'm sorry that my computer is going at the rate of molasses. Can you hear this?
March is evoking the country's Nazi path.
Might have to turn it up just a bit. Or that's a me thing. Sorry.
Yeah. I just want to let me just pull up a video real quick.
Clearly they don't.
I promised you.
You can hear me okay? You can hear that okay? Great. I promise, ladies and gentlemen, next time we're going to do a sound check before we're recording. But I want to get, but just cold open, I want to get your impression on this man's acting right here. So, I almost forgot. Turn that up. Here.
You met Gavin in Calabasas?
I didn't just meet him. We kissed a little.
No!
Schmidt, what happened? What's wrong?
You just made out with my dad.
So, in your professional experience, what do you think of that man's range as an actor?
Well, he's also this is from New Girl, right? That's Schmidt.
That's Schmidt.
I heard that him, I don't know the actor names. Nick is another character. And I don't know.
All of them, yeah.
I was just gonna make the point that I think all three of those guys that have been on the show, like, they're really taking their like acting game up right now. Like the black guy, he's in Fargo and he does all these like bank commercials. So that's good that he's working more. But I mean,
it's steady money. Yeah.
And other dude is Peter Parker in the Spider-Verse movies, and he's doing some other stuff. But I mean, my girlfriend loves New Girl. The episodes I've seen of it are hilarious.
Yeah.
So
I have a hard time watching New Girl because you know me, I have a very difficult time I get very bad third party cringe. So that is definitely a difficulty that I have to deal with. But
I get that.
Yeah. Which brings me into, like, I think we talked last week mostly about Cat Williams and, that interview kind of being kind of like huge, and one of the things I know that Ludacris like recorded, like, came out of like 20 years of retirement to like record a fucking diss track about him and shit. But like, for one of the thing, not one person has said, like, through all the admonishments I heard, I want to, just so we can touch on something from last week. Not one person said he lied.
Nope. They said we gotta clarify some shit, but not a lie.
Yeah. But
and that's what I said. Just real quick to stay on the subject for a second.
Yeah. For sure.
That's what I was saying last week. Like, even with the Kevin Hart, like, he's a plant type talk, I don't know. I feel like that's more exaggeration than anything. But he is right in the sense of you don't see another black comedian make it a year after coming to LA. And I'm not saying that, Kevin Hart was definitely killing shit in Philly, because Charlemagne the God and Andrew Schultz literally said that he was, but you
L-
do not see it. Go ahead.
LA is a different animal. You got to remember, like the comic scene and the Hollywood scene are two separate beasts. Like, someone who's like a great comic, isn't necessarily going to translate and do well, um, as a TV person, and vice versa. Like, I saw Ellen DeGeneres' old specials. I mean, we get it. You're gay. And I guess for 1990 something, that's like the most interesting thing about you, and that's enough. But like, you know, even with like the Republicans trying to like make lynching alphabet mafia people like legal or some shit, that like it's still like not relevant among people our age. Like, it just be like it's been like people's sexuality has been normalized to a heavy extent, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's like, that's important. But I uh I kind of wanted to bring this into and get your thoughts on, and I don't know if you've seen this, but there's currently a hysteria on the internet saying all the old guard YouTubers are retiring.
And maybe given all the shit that they've dealt with, they're like, hey, enough is enough. Because I feel
Well,
like, especially with like Matt Pat, like he's like, hey, not that I don't feel appreciated by my audience, but I think the sentiment of him not being appreciated by YouTube is like clear.
I think, well, I mean, that's obviously could be like an underlying pin of it, but I think the vibe of this is less to do with YouTube's bullshit, because everybody's always dealt with YouTube's bullshit. We'll have to deal with YouTube's bullshit from now into perpetuity. I'm gonna have to deal with it. But the fact of the matter is that uh, specifically for Tom Scott and Matt Pat, being the one, like the two big ones, they left primarily because they said that they've worked themselves into the ground for over a decade for decades at this point. And Tom Scott was very much like, I've been neglecting relationships, and Matt Pat was like, I'd like to have dinner with my wife and talk about something besides work. You know what I mean?
Well, I think me and you saw a generation of YouTubers who didn't know what a YouTuber was supposed to be. So then they had
kind
to
of paved
have
the road.
not only that, but they had to have like breakneck work ethic that not many people in other fields have. I akin it to something like game development and being in the stages of crunch, but like that's the entirety of your career, Because
Yeah.
I think of these things like with Jacksepticeye and Markiplier and PewDiePie, who used to put out 2 videos a day every single day, and even they were like, hey, this is too fucking much, from uh filming the stuff to editing to posting and social media behind it. I feel like a lot of YouTubers who maintain the once a post daily routine that YouTube makes you follow,
Yeah.
I feel like they slowly but surely started to see that even with live streams, it wasn't as worth it compared to the moments that they were missing out on.
Yeah. No, that's 100%. It's like, I think it's a miracle that fucking not Tom Scott, that Matt Pat was able, and his wife were able to like find enough time to have sex to make 2 children, let alone to
No,
raise two
literally.
children. Because it's like Tom Scott, absolutely, he put his entire dick into every video. Of course he did. With all the travel and study and research and everything that goes on with that. But like, Matt Pat has 4 separate channels and has teams and teams of editors to help him out with the shit that he had to hire. Like, I think Matt Pat, and it's and like the reason why, like, I wonder, and like also it's like also other people are seeing like these 2 juggernauts leave, and I mean Jacksepticeye put out a tweet himself. I don't know if you saw this. Here, I'll share my screen.
I saw nothing about these stories. I just heard that Matt Pat said he was going to leave YouTube.
Why I don't know why my Discord is being molasses levels of slow, but Let me pull this up so we can see it properly. That's not supposed to be that way, but whatever. We're a professional outlet here, folks. Yeah. Matt Pat's video made me realize I've been doing YouTube for a literal third of my life. And people are like, don't you fucking dare, man. Opera Jex is like, don't even think about it, Jack, with a fucking spray bottle.
Hey, Evan, real quick.
What's up? What's up?
There's a hella echo.
Is there now?
I don't know if it's on my end.
It's probably on your end. I don't think there's too bad of an echo on my end, but I stopped sharing, so it should be better now.
Yeah, when you were sharing the screen, it at least for me, it was bad. I don't know about the audience, but yeah, I mean, it's crazy. They literally are slaving away in some respect. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they don't make money from it. They definitely do. But
and I mean that's the profession that I'm choosing myself, because I do find joy in content creation. There's a really, really interesting TikTok that was out that I saw a while ago. I'll see if I can find it while I'm talking about it. But basically, in a nutshell, what effectively is the case is, here it is. I found it.
If you've been on YouTube,
here's the TikTok in question. Let me share my screen and I'll share it with everybody. God, I hate how fucking slow this is. Here.
I'm also gonna sending you a video over Insta after this.
Nice.
I'll
get that queued up. Here.
For sure.
This is the TikTok in question.
Here's something I want you all to ponder.
When men are
That's not it. That's not it.
a group
That's not it. Where the fuck did it go?
Asking for your
What the fuck? All right, there it is. I'm stupid.
at all recently, you may have
All right, here. Can you hear it okay? Yeah, you already know. We already did sound
Perfect.
good. All right, so this is the video in question, folks.
noticed that a lot of people are quitting. 2023 started off with Anthpo and Seth Everman both completely quitting making videos. They're done forever. And as of this past week, we've seen YouTubers basically quit the content that they're known for and are instead going down a new route. Meat Canyon put a pause on animations to focus on his second channel. Tom Scott quit his main channel to focus on his podcast. And Joel Haver quit weekly shorts to make monthly movies. And you might be sitting there wondering, why?
I kind of like that
Why is
because
this
I enjoy
happening?
Joe
Why
Hyder.
is everything I know and love dying? The world hates me, and I've got the answer for you. But I want to start off by explaining what happens when you go full-time on YouTube. About a year and a half ago, I was lucky enough to finally make YouTube my full-time job. I went from serving food for many years to finally having the opportunity to have my final day of work, tell every customer to suck my and to be able to spend all of my time doing what I love. But the issue with going full-time with YouTube is that it's kind of scary. When you're starting out on YouTube, before you have any sort of sizable audience, you're fueled by hope. Hope that one day you're going to be known amongst all the other people you watch. Hope that you'll make money off doing what you love. And hope that you'll have tons of subscribers who love your videos. And once you achieve that, once you quit your job or school and focus solely on making money through YouTube,
Why did that
you
stop?
are now being fueled
What the fuck? Hold on.
by
one
fear.
second.
Every day goes from, I wonder if this video will blow up so people will notice me, to, oh fuck, if this video doesn't do well, I'm not gonna be able to eat. And that's not a good place for you to be mentally when you're trying to make fun content. And logically, you'd think once it's your main job, you know, you have more time so you can make more videos, which means you'll get more views and more money. That makes sense, right? But that's not how it really works, because YouTube isn't like a regular job. In a regular job, if you go from working 20 hours a week to 40 hours a week, you make double the money because you did double the work, or at least work double your hours. But on YouTube, you can go from making 4 videos a month to making 8 videos a month, or even 12 videos a month, and make even less money than when you were making 4 videos a month. So now knowing that information, it makes sense why people are quitting or switching what they're doing. For Meat Canyon, for example, instead of having a big team that's putting a shit ton of time, energy, and money into each animation, he can instead make commentary videos that take less time, have less money put into them, and actually get way more of a reward out of it because it's most likely not going to get demonetized. He can put a sponsor in the video without it ruining the story. It's more likely to get shown more because it's a long video, and when the YouTube algorithm sees a video over 30 minutes, it comes its pants and shows it to everyone. And the ad revenue for those videos are going to be multiple times what it was for an animation, because now you could put mid-rolls in the video. So when you break it down like that. There is no incentive to want to keep making animations when it is draining you mentally and financially. Now, in Joel Haver's case, he's going the opposite route of what most YouTubers here are doing, and he's going to put in more time into his content and make less money, but that's because he's insane and not because it's a smart business move. If you've been on YouTube at all recently, you may have noticed that a lot
but that's the video. That's basically it. It's really is a case of like, it really is honestly a case of, that's the brass tacks of it. It's like certain types of YouTube content just aren't tenable to keep around anymore, and that's really unfortunate. But them's the rules at this point. You know what I mean? It's what else can be said about it?
Yeah, I think also there was a comment there. I'm not sure if you saw it, but it was talking about how Mr. Beast kind of killed YouTube for how it was. And I mean, it's pretty true.
Yeah.
I did see that comment. You can't really, like, you can technically. I mean, I'm doing it. I'm putting low budget, mid effort videos, and I've grown. I mean, I've been shadow banned for like the last month and a half, but I think that like for the last like month, but I think has less to do with I think that has like more to do with some of my choices back in early December, late November of like gutting my channel of like shorts and clips and then immediately reversing course after like a week and a half and doing the opposite. So YouTube, my algorithm presence has been kind of punished in that regard. But like to his point about like the YouTube algorithm like coming in its pants every time you see a video, like a long video, I mean, there's a reason why I have like, tomorrow I have I normally put out videos, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, but now I am thinking about replacing audio decks podcast episodes. I'll just put those out like when the fuck ever. Or maybe I'll like just put those out on like Sundays or something. Like who cares? And tomorrow I am, I started doing commentary videos. Like today, Thursday, I had, a pretty sizable clip from my last stream, which was, it was only like 5 or 6 minutes long, but I was railing against Take-Two Interactive and their choice to make, GTA 6 a console exclusive. Not one particular console, but just there's no PC ports. And the reason for that is they don't want to deal with modding this time around, which I get. I get that, but like I get that from a business sense, but it still sucks.
I don't know. I don't quite agree because Take-Two did the same shit with GTA 5. They always do it.
Yeah. Well, they did it with GTA 5 until they got so unbelievably lambasted by the community that they reversed course and they changed their thing.
They usually wait like 6 months to a year and then they do a PC port because it happened with Red Dead 2. It was console exclusive until a year in because it got released with Red Dead Online because they had the $20 option. GTA 5, I remember without a doubt they did that shit. And because GTA Online wasn't released when it first released and they wanted PC players to be able to do it, this is the reason that they said they wanted PC players to have the updated graphics and everything, and then also have GTA Online in the game. But I get what you're saying. I hear you.
Yeah, but like to bring it back to what we were originally talking about, like functionally at the end of the day, like at the end of the day, like it's like I'm putting out like commentary videos, like 20-minute commentary videos to sort of like cover my bases because like I put out 2 videos like on a Monday and then on a Tuesday I put out like an 8-minute video and then I put out like a 15-20-minute video where it's just commentary of me talking on like games and shit, and they did like 1,000 views.
Yeah,
they legit like did a stupid, like genuinely dumb amount of money, amount of views, enough that it like, it gave me 100 watch hours just off the fucking bat because people were watching it and engaging with the comments. And that's the other thing. Like YouTube deprioritized the comments system for so long, but with the change to the algorithm that comes with shorts, comment and number of comments and the fact that people are engaging is now like a really fucking important metric that matters again. And it
Well,
sucks.
also, real quick, I also want to
It
say
doesn't suck, but yeah, continue.
I just want to say a detriment with YouTube if you're doing anything other than commentary or gameplay or podcast content is YouTube really isn't the place for that type of stuff unless you have an operation like Mr. Beast that has production that's already associated with the cost of creating that video. That's why like the Joel Haber, Meat Canyon. I'm not sure if you remember Two Stacks, but like this happened to him all that time ago, back in like 2014, 2015.
Right.
If you make content that is expensive to create, but it is a spectacle to be seen, like YouTube isn't the place for that. And that's what's shitty about every other sect of content creator that isn't commentary, gameplay, podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, if I like, just as an experiment, I pull up my, YouTube algorithm, and it's like, pretty solid, I'd say it's a fairly. Why can't I share my screen from here? Fuck you, Discord. I was hoping I wouldn't have to do that. Whatever. But like, if we just look at my YouTube home screen, it's like commentary video, news commentary video, video essay on ogres and stuff in D&D, commentary on like clickbait video on like people, making shitty views about a game I care about, political commentary video, video essay, on Game of Thrones, like, a gameplay video, shit like that. And then you got the shorts, and then I scroll down even further, a commentary video on food, like trying food, video essay on cats, news commentary video clip. It's awful. It's awful.
Yeah. I think this is my last like opinion on the whole matter. I feel like when that first YouTube culling began, I don't remember if it was the one where PewDiePie dropped the N-word, but around that time.
Which adpocalypse? You talking about the adpocalypses?
Yeah. Or maybe even like the what is it? Oh shit. I can't remember the word. The Spider-Man Elsa videos. Like even at that time, I feel like the emphasis when uh advertisers had the ability to, have final say on a place like YouTube, that was the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I know it's how they make their money, but it still sucks. So real quick,
Right.
this video, Dragon Ball Z Sparkling Zero is coming out soon. It doesn't have a release date yet, but it's pretty much the new Budokai Tenkaichi. Before you play it, just let me spit a little,
spiel
right?
a little bit. Okay.
So, one thing that I've always loved is Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I love the Budokai Tenkaichi game series. If you know, you know. Like the definitive Dragon Ball Z game, fighting games, right?
Right.
Emulation is such an interesting subject, and it's a video that I saw on Instagram where they bring Budokai Tenkaichi 3, a game made back in like 06 or 07, and they fully make it 4K HD and say, I don't even know the more, inclusive terms, but just you could play the video now because watching this video, it is crazy to think that you could do this with any game on PC because emulation.
Well, yeah. All right. So let me play this real quick. Also, I should probably just real quick close a bunch of these. So I'm not watching that. I'm not watching that. I'm not watching that. Here.
No problem.
Here.
Okay.
Play the heavily requested Dragon Ball Z BT3. I'm running the Wii version on the East Uduka build of the Dolphin emulator. First, I bumped the original resolution of 640 by 528 up 8x to 5120 by 4224. You'll
Gorgeous.
notice the cell shading looks pixelated. Go to Graphics, Enhancements, and enable Scaled EFE Copy. Now, it's not pixelated, but we have a new problem of ghosting. Go to Graphics, Enhancements 2, and slide the conditional EFE Copy slider to around
If you just wanna go to
16%.
the
This
end
gets
of
us
the video,
playing
you
in
can,
crystal
'cause
clear
I just
5.
like the-
I want to see how he like does it step by step.
Okay, for sure.
It's interesting.
Fine with me.
K resolution. Next, I enable the following emulator enhancements: 2x MXAA, 16x anisotropic filtering, disable fog, force 24-bit color, force dithering, per pixel lighting, bong lighting, and auto bumps. Then I grab Stan 21's HD texture pack, name it the game serial number, place it in the emulator load texture folder, and go to Graphics Advanced and enable load custom textures. Now we are running AI upscaled high resolution textures. Lastly, go to Graphics, Post Processing, and add East Uduka FX, enable scene tone mapping, texture sharpen, and pixel vibrance. If you are feeling adventurous, you can enable SSAO and SSGI, which injects global illumination and looks cool to me, but totally changes the art style. Here it is from the base resolution, bumped to 5K, then with the emulator enhancements and fixes, followed by the HD textures, then with post-processing global illumination if you so desire. Or from start all the way to finished product. Praise emulation and of Koji with the sun. Amen. Behold!
Yeah, that's gorgeous. That's actually genuinely fucking insane.
And he posts like a whole bunch of tutorial videos on all games. So
Now, I want to be clear. I personally am not a graphics junkie at all.
yeah, I mean, I'll never do that.
No, it's not even that. It's just graphics are so low on like the range of like the things that I care about that it's cool, and don't get me wrong, it's a great cool feat of engineering, but I don't necessarily feel like it's something that matters. I feel like when it comes to gameplay, it's more important. But as far as emulation is concerned, I'm very much for the practice of emulation because there's very very much a lot of games that are lost to history, and they are lost to history because of the short-sightedness and greed of gaming publishers and conglomerates and corporations and shit. So that I think I have a very very loose determination of, I think it is, regardless of the legality, I personally believe, and this is not me advocating for anybody else, this is just my own personal belief, that it is morally okay to pirate a game and emulate it if the company that owns that IP or if the company that like owns that game has given you zero possible way of legally buying it from them. Now, people might jump into the comments here and say, "But Evan, what about the third-hand market?" I'm gonna Google you guys a game, and I'm gonna show you guys a game. Okay, so this is a game that I played. It's a GameCube game. It's lovely. It's called Gotcha Force. My good friend Declan Hendricks. It is a awesome like beat 'em up fighter type of game where you've got hundreds and hundreds of different characters that you can like fight things with, and it's like it's like little toys that are like Dragon Ball Z fighter toys. It's awesome. It's a wonderfully great game. It's very much like if we look at this YouTube clip here, like this is like what the gameplay kind of like looks like a little bit. They've got entire stories and shit, and
okay,
this is like what kind of the gameplay looks like. It's awesome. It's a fun romp of a time. I'm now going to show you how much it costs in the shopping network.
Whew. God damn.
That is up 200. That is up almost 400. Like that is up almost $200, $300 from a decade ago.
God damn.
So
And that's just a game.
it didn't sell well at launch. They didn't make many reprints of it, and so unfortunately, that's all there is.
Well, the thing I like about emulation also, to go with your point, yeah, forgotten games, but also games that for whatever reason haven't gotten a remake, haven't gotten a remaster. They're only on Xbox 360, PS3 era, or before. And it's like, hey, if you're not going to make this game available for the public nowadays, we might as well be able to make it public for ourselves, you know?
Right, and the thing is that the Electronic Frontier Foundation, which is I believe, no, it's not the EFF. It's a different one. There's basically the trade group that represents um the video game industry has lobbied Congress repeatedly to prevent them from adding, you know, like rules for video game archivization. And
Well,
because you
Evan, let
and
me
because
ask you this.
what's up?
Sorry, finish your
Go
point,
for it.
please.
Yeah,
I would just
I go or you go. I go. I go. Okay, I go. The last thing I was gonna say was, and it's primarily because, and of course, the octogenarians that run our country are gonna be like, okay, fine, whatever, we won't put it in the bill. Who gives a shit? Because they, don't really um, view as like a video games as a medium worth protecting. They view it as like a toy. They still are thinking about it as like, oh, it's just a toy. These are just toy makers. Who gives a shit, right? Which brings me, which that point I'm gonna touch back on after you say your point when I move us into the next subject that I think is gonna get you fucking heated.
Okay. Let me ask you this. I just got the PS5 about a week, having it 2 weeks at this point, maybe. Something interesting I read in their terms of service is even if you purchase a physical copy, you are licensing the game.
Yeah.
How do you feel? How does that make you feel? Because I know you're big on game ownership.
You will. It's just another example of corporations telling us you will own nothing, live in the pod, eat the bug.
Literally.
But I posted a video today, and it came out today because and it was just my kind of opinion. It was like me covering the subject matter and everything of that. But I'll pull this. I'll pull up the. I'll pull it up in the tab. I'm not going to play it just because I want everybody watching this video to go watch that video because, god damn it, give me some fucking watch time. I want to make YouTube partner, but also because I'm not going to just sit here and play a video that I made talking about something that feels like particularly narcissistic.
Now, what is the specifics of this? Because I heard about it, but I didn't read about it.
So basically, what happened was I was hoping to
Without
keep it. I was hoping to keep it
without
up,
giving your
yeah, I was hoping to keep
personal
it up.
opinion,
I
so
wanted to
people
keep.
can still see it.
I wanted to keep the thumbnail up for it, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
But basically, in a nutshell, the shit that happened with it was So you're aware that like the SAG-AFTRA members, all of them were just like, fuck AI. We don't want like to be forced to use AI, and we don't want like our art to be used to train artificial intelligence to make bad art.
Yeah.
And for dumb executives who don't have an artful bone in their fucking body to try and use that to save some fucking money. Like as an artist yourself, like you're inclined to like agree with that statement more or less.
Definitely.
So here's the issue. Replica AI, right? Replica AI is basically so Replica AI is essentially a company that has effectively made the choice that basically takes voice models and they basically take voice models and they just, they allow you to like buy, like to generate, voices for games and stuff. So I'm gonna type in Replica Studios example, and they have a YouTube channel where you can like look at, that some of their products and what they're doing. And so I'm gonna go to their videos here, and I'm gonna pull up. This was the video that I used for that one, and this is, we have Replica AI voice actors with Unreal Engine. So I'm going to show you two things. So this, what I'm about to show you, was the voice model that they had 2 years ago, right? This was the voice model that, like, this came out 2-3 years ago. This was the technology that they were using to, do everything the way they were going to, right? Let me play this for you real quick.
The Black Soul Stone contains thousands of demonic souls. Your mind in ruins. My family was butchered by Hellspawn. To witness such a thing is enough to leave your mind in ruins.
And then they do some other shenanigans to try and make it better.
My family was butchered by Hellspawn. To witness such a thing is enough to leave your mind in ruins.
And then you can add even more filters and stuff.
Butchered by Hellspawn. To witness such a thing is enough to leave your mind in ruins.
And then basically they are glorifying it. And this came out 3 years ago.
Okay.
This came out 3 years ago. Now this are the models that they're using. This came out a month ago.
Okay.
This is their generation of AI voice models. So they basically like upgraded their entire library.
And on the brink of tomorrow.
Here.
We stand on the brink of tomorrow, always ready for what's next.
Rise beside me, brave warriors, for honor calls us to battle.
Ready the arrows. Hold! Hold! Fire!
Here, one more.
So, what are you waiting for? Let's do this.
Yeah, so that's so oddly enough, not particularly, you think that over the course of 3 years shit would get better. Well, I think part of the reason that they've had some difficulties with this is because they are finding voice actors that are willing to let you use their voices, and finding voice actors that have enough range that this would be something worth doing is, hard. So where the SAG-AFTRA stuff comes in is apparently in a closed-door meeting and negotiation with Replica Studios, SAG-AFTRA okayed members of the Actors Guild to sell their AI replicas to Replica Studios, and they'll get compensated whenever they're used. And also they have the ability to deny their stuff being used in perpetuity. So let me break that down real quick. Everybody in SAG-AFTRA said no. We don't want we want as little AI as possible. 2, they allow actors who are in financially dire straits now have an avenue that will effectively devalue their ability to make art in the future for the benefit of short-term gain. And lastly, people's voices not being used in perpetuity is opt-in. It's not the default. You have to explicitly say that.
Here's my
and before you get started, I want to just wrap up, letting you know,
yep,
like all the fucking Cartoon Network era VAs, like it wasn't just. And here's the thing: it was specifically in video game voice actors and people in the wider voice acting community for things like Cartoon Network, animation, stuff like that. Those are very, very much, vocalizing on this too. Nobody, it's like nobody seems to have been asked about this meeting, like on this, or seen it until the press release and the voice actor part of SAG-AFTRA. Except the SAG-AFTRA leadership said that in two with, like, talking with our affected members, we talked with our affected members and came to an agreement that would be the best for their professional for like their rights and careers. So what I'm thinking what happened is you probably had some of the geriatric fucks that run the SAG-AFTRA, like Fran Drescher. No, I love Fran. I love the nanny, but like she's old as shit. Like in my mind's eye, who probably had a bunch of people like around her age or older in that meeting room saying, "I've done some VA work before." And then they took that at face value, like it was like celebrity cameos or some shit in like in a Disney movie. And it's not like you're a fucking Neil Newbon who played fucking Asterion in Baldur's Gate and Heisenberg in fucking Resident Evil Village. It's just two stark fucking things. He also did the mocap work and grunting for fucking Nemesis in the RE3 remake. So so it's like, people are in the community are very, very upset about this, and they're most upset that nobody brought it to a vote.
Well, here's my opinion on the whole thing, right? I don't necessarily agree that the nanny should be the president of SAG currently. I don't agree with that at all. I don't know how that happens, but it is what it is. Also, when the only thing that stopped the union, the SAG and SAG-AFTRA actors and the writers strike was the fact that they came to a tentative agreement for the next 3 years. So because they did this tentative agreement with the studios for the next 3 years to not make a deciding vote on AI either way, or they might have said that we're not going to utilize AI in making movies for the next 3 years. If they're making this back room deal with an AI audio generation company, that kind of tells me that they knew the strikes were a losing battle, that they were trying to save face, and they did accomplish one success in making it opt-in as opposed to in perpetuity without a doubt 100% of the time. But it still doesn't show that SAG-AFTRA actually sees a future without the utilization of AI. I don't know if 3 years is going to be the definitive time, but
you know what I think it was? I think what SAG-AFTRA leadership was trying to do is they were very much they used video game voice actors. They used video game voice actors as the proverbial whipping boys here. Like they knew that, like, here's the thing, the studios are pushing, like, they want to use AI. They want to, because they are fighting for it tooth and fucking. They will accept anything so long as they're able to fucking use it. And it's one of those things where it's like a immovable force meets unstoppable object, right? So it's like, SAG is going to be like like all of the major studios would rather go bankrupt and Hollywood shut the fuck down and have to be rebuilt from the ashes by new people or some shit before they like give up on the idea of, oh, we don't have to pay some actors anymore because we can just generate their voices. They want it so they want it. They're willing to kill these fucking businesses over the ability to fuck over actors and talent.
And that's what always I never made it never made sense to me, especially at this late in the game, that these studios and these executives are walking away with record profits, even if the movie is dog shit. They turn around, they tell you exactly what to do, how to do it, when to do it. They tell the writers parameters that they have to stay within. Mind you, a writer should never have parameters unless they impose them themselves. So, and then they turn around and they swallow all of this profit and say there is not enough of a piece of food off of the bone for you to pick at. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's almost as if that the executives that are in charge of large corporations are more like leeches than they are dutiful stewards of a company.
Well, that's why the Roadrunner movie thing was so interesting. For people who don't know, there was supposed to be a John Cena Roadrunner Looney Tunes
It was
movie.
made, it tested well with audience, people were excited for it, and then they shelved it for a tax break. You know what else they shelved for a tax break? Cartoon Network Studios.
And Batwoman. Or Batgirl. I don't know.
I gotta be honest with you, Chief Keef. I feel like them shelving the entirety of Cartoon Network Studios as like for a tax break was like fucking. That hurt my soul in a level that I just like. And you know what the funny thing is? You said it because you said it like I just don't understand how these these executives do exactly fucking all. They actively ruin artistic direction and stuff like the fucking creator of the West Wing like literally was fighting executives show notes tooth and nail, and he never took a note, even though they tried to make him take a note, and all their notes were fucking bad. Like, I want there to be a leak. Like, I want somebody to like, I want like an actor like a Steven Spielberg or like just like, or not even Spielberg because he's too fucking huge. I want like a new and up and coming like director or something to like save every fucking show note that they get from a motherfucker over the course
and
of
be like,
their career.
Look at this.
I want you, and just like do a dump on like Blue Sky or something, and be like, hey, here's a thread over the last 5 years of me being a big hotshot, movie director or whatever, and here's all the show notes executives have given me. These are ones, and just showing like these are the 3 that I took because this one I thought was an okay idea. These 2 I was threatened with being fired if I didn't do it, and the rest of them. I was able to get them to get off my fucking back for. And look at these dog shit ideas.
Well, I was gonna say it's like I feel like directors are doctors and showrunners or executives are like the insurance, industry.
Other way.
No, because the insurance companies in that industry hold the true power, and the executives in the film industry, I'm saying with like a director that's not known, or like somebody who isn't a Spielberg. Like if you're not a Tarantino or Spielberg or Lucas or what the fuck ever, then you're probably not going to be able to do whatever you want to do. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Then wouldn't you be the doctor in that case then? Like wouldn't they be the doctor? I think you got the allegory flipped. The studio is insurance. That's
what I was saying.
Yeah. I was just trying to correct you because like I knew where you were going. You said it in reverse. But yeah, no, I get where you're coming from with that, and it's just it's. And when you said that, like you just like, oh, these executives don't do anything; they're just a fucking waste of space a lot of the time, and they break it and they eat all this profit. I'm like, have you ever heard of Karl Marx? You're so close. There's a solution to this. It's called worker co-ops, my guy. Like, because here's the thing. Can you imagine what like? Because here's the thing. Genuinely, I think that most businesses in the United States do not benefit from a top-down corporate structure. I think the idea of workplace democracy, of the workers at the lowest level voting for voting and choosing their managers, and then the managers choose their manager, and the managers, and so on and so forth, and or even like they choose like their boss's boss's boss, and the CEO, like all that shit. That I feel like, because the fundamentals of the day is that, like, yes, workers do not know every aspect of a business, and that very much is true. And you have to have somebody who is able to look at that with a bird's eye view. The problem is the incentives of people who, with the bird's eye view, are not the CEOs of the people who like are at the level where they run Fortune 500 companies, or just companies in general in this in the world. They do it in such a way as like they show up, they're there for 3 years, they cut as much as they humanly possible, they are able to show like quarter after quarter after quarter profits on paper. They fuck off at the end of their contract with a golden parachute of $150 million, and they leave the business in a worse place than they found it, because wages are lower, there's less people working, and they've cheapened the product by changing, maybe changing suppliers, and making like a worse thing. And so it's just, you just have this constant shitification of every company in America, even the largest ones that like run monopolies on everything. It's terrible. It's awful.
One thing, real quick, one thing exclusively to the film industry as a whole. Like, we're seeing what a billionaire or a CEO who purchases a company and and doesn't really understand the industry, with Elon Musk and Twitter, right? I think
100%.
now Twitter is like $13 billion. That's the total evaluation, and he brought the bitch for $44 billion, right? What I don't understand about the film industry as a whole, the business side of it as a whole, is every decision that these studios make, whether it be raising the monthly prices of the streaming services, cutting the wages of their actors and their writers, trying to make AI create amazing stories when AI is not nearly at that level. It probably never will. But I just don't understand why in every other industry, when somebody makes a mistake or fucks up, it reflects negatively economically with that business. But the film industry continues to be untouched. Don't get me wrong, there's profit losses occasionally, but year over year, it's still one of the biggest profit margin industries out there. So, like, what the fuck? Can we figure this out?
So I actually have a good answer for this. So,
okay,
Coca-Cola. Let's just say Coca-Cola doesn't own like a quarter of all like the food and drink production companies in the world. And just imagine they just make a soda. All right.
Okay.
Coca-Cola has a very popular product, a good product even. Let's say they sell exclusively the cane, the Coke that only has cane sugar in it, Mexican Coke.
Okay.
They got a good product, right? Now they sell it. Their CEO pay, their worker pay, their expenses, all that shit. They take that out the growth. Anything left is the net. You know this. I know this. You, the viewer, probably knows this too. Now what happens is they make a change. They move to corn syrup. People don't like the product as much. People go to Pepsi instead. They sell less Coca-Cola. They basically have a business model where they sell multiple units of their product. And
gotcha.
And once the product is consumed, it no longer exists. And so they basically have to make changes to their product to like get back to that point. And when they take losses, they don't get to have as much net, or worse off, they have to downsize, they have to cut pay, all that shit. Here's the problem with the film industry. They put out a studio, like a set, a studio will have like multiple projects going on, but like let's just say like a studio is you're a small time studio or whatever, and you put out one project, like you work on one project at a time. You make that one project, you spend millions of dollars on this project. It bombs. So what do? You have no money. What do? You write that shit off for taxes. You write that shit off for taxes, because you did estimated taxes, you do estimated taxes as a big corporate business, you get a rebate from the government.
Yeah, and I think what I'm saying is the idea that that's how you stay open, it should be changed, because obviously it is not being utilized in the way that whoever created that law saw fit. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So the big thing I will personally say is that I think that the idea of like studio executives needs to go away. I think the idea of like, I think that
without a doubt.
Because here's the thing, I understand that a lot of artists and a lot of creatives, are ditzy morons. Not all, certainly not all, and certainly not as many as people think they are. But you and I have both met people in our lives that are self-proclaimed artists, and I'm like, you got talent. You ain't fucking going nowhere, though.
Well, I think with talent, especially, or being creative, you need a grounded person to be like, hey, logistically, this is what we could get away with. We can't do whatever the fuck you're thinking in your head. Right. But that's
how you get bullshit like The Room.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, to avoid making a room, you need a team of people to actually keep you based in reality. However, the people who are keeping you based in reality should not be the ones coming up with the creative ideas. And I think that's what the fuck we continue to see.
Right. And I think the other big problem is that I think that like there's plenty of artists that are that grounded person and can like that, but I think those are the types of people that in a worker cooperative type of system would be voted by the electricians, the staff, all that shit, like by the people who work for the different production company, and they're the ones that become in charge of like a studio, right? Like a worker cooperative studio. You have, instead of like having to like go ditch between contract, you work at the one place. You might pick up contracts other places, you might take work hiatuses, but like you're a member of the collective and you get to vote. So like, yeah, you might not be getting paid because you're not working on the project at the collective for the time being, but like, you could have a collective that mandatory, you got to work on one project a year with us to stay a part of this bitch. And if you do, and if you do, the profits are reinvested back into the workforce here, and then we also vote, and you also vote on who the fuck it runs this bitch. So we don't have dumbass fucking executives who still think it's okay to call women doll or babe or sweetheart and they're not related to them or fucking them in any way. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Sorry, continue.
Just one last thing about how voice actors continue to get fucked. I'm not sure if you saw it, but I just got Mortal Kombat 1. They have a character in Mortal Kombat 1 called Quan Chi, and the voice actor, who also did the mocap, I'm pretty sure, for all of his moves, didn't get paid, at least not for his voice acting work. And I know people are gonna say, well, hey, he signed the contract, he knew what he was gonna get. True. However, the fact that we are in a time and day where somebody is literally part of the fucking campaign, because mind you, he's a DLC character if you want to play as him, but he's part of the fucking campaign. And I'm like, he's an actual character who has lines, who continues the story. He probably did the motion capture as well, and he got paid. Fuck off. That's craziness. And then on top of that, last little tangent, but his character himself is being sold for $8 outside of the like season pass. And I'm like, yo, the amount of people who brought just the DLC character, just him, that profit itself should be going to him. Even if it's like $2 per sale. Because fucking J.K. Simmons is voicing Omni-Man, and I know that nigga got paid.
Well, I mean, but also J.K. Simmons probably had the fucking he had a union deal.
Probably. It's also probably why Anthony Starr, the guy who does Homelander, isn't going to voice Homelander in MK1. So, but John Cena is, and I know he got paid too.
Yeah, it's just it's frustrating because like I myself I'm a software developer, right? My industry is by no means protected by any type of union anywhere. Like the banks, like if I feel like when I was working at JP, if I had mentioned the idea of, hey, maybe we should start a union so we have like better working hours, better treatment, better pay, all that stuff, I would be black bagged and brought behind the building and shot.
Yep.
Because like like the idea of like just it's just rich people hate unions because it means they're not able to exploit workers the way they want to.
And that's why my position on unions has always been, I respect them highly. And for fields like fucking computer web development or fucking acting, you need a union. But when I was a fucking 16-year-old worker and most of my paycheck was going to a union I was never going to see the benefits from, that's when I was like, fuck unions, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's especially at Acme. Like the problem is Acme in particular, where you worked, is a captive union.
Yep. And obviously I know the difference now.
Yeah. And then that's what I remember. Like honestly, it took you like a year. Like that's a huge difference between like now and a year ago.
Well, I always will have the position of if you're lucky enough, right, to have a manager or a boss or a authority that you feel isn't going to fuck you over, then I feel like you should be able to opt out of paying union dues because that's your choice. Now, if shit goes down, I feel like, legally you could still sue them or the business or what the fuck ever. But for the short-term gain, sometimes that is better than the long-term possibility of what if shit goes wrong. And
absolutely. And the only thing I'd say in response to that is like, because that's ostensibly right to work, legislation. Every place that has right to work laws implemented sees a huge decline in union membership and unionization across the state. And that's not because people are individually choosing not to. It's because it becomes those right to work things make it more difficult because there aren't rules in place that you either work for a union shop or you work for a non-union shop. Like you can't because things are there aren't laws enforcing that anymore. It just becomes easier and easier to sort of get rid of the union workers, and once they lose their job in the field, they're like, depending on the field and depending on the union, they're like a lot. Like the problem is that because unionship has condensed to what the fuck it is and had so bad. One of the things that'll happen is that, for example, most of the men in my family on my father's side, they're part of the Boilermakers Union, I think. And because they're members of the Boilermakers Union, great. If they say to their union rep, like, hey, my job's contract just ended, I need a new job. They're like, great. We'll talk to a contact. They need somebody over so-and-so. It's about 30 minutes away. And you're like, bet, I'll start going there. The problem is that because union membership and unions broadly have been, actively attacked and nuked into the ground since the Reagan administration, a lot of people in those areas, they because like individual union houses aren't large enough now, right? What ends up happening is that they end up like becoming like incorporating with like other union houses that are further and further away, so, to keep power, right? To keep membership like at a critical mass. And so what ends up happening is that if you in St. Mary's County, Maryland, say, "Hey, I lost my job and I need a new one," they're like, "Great, let me call my guy, a guy, and see what I can figure it out." Ding, ding, ding. All right, hey, guess what? I just talked to my guy. I got a job for you, starting on Monday in Brooklyn, New York, which is approximately a 5.5-hour drive one way from St. Mary's County, Maryland.
Yep. And that's how they get you.
Yeah. So more unionization and more and larger unionization across the board, and unions having more membership and power means that the benefits of a union are more easily accessible to you wherever you are. And the other cool thing is, if you're if you're not dealing with that bullshit and you do want to move to New York for whatever reason, you can call and say, "Hey, I am looking to move to such and such. I'm trying to go to such and such. Are there any openings for do you guys need a journeyman with this level of experience?" And if they can be yes or no, and if they're yes, great. Like let me know the contract. I'll sign this. Mail me the paperwork, and I'll be there. I'll be there Monday after next. It is being a part of a union is so much more than just work. It's also they have union halls. They have where you go after work and hang out with people and talk about stuff. And it's a community thing. It's also a third space. I don't know if you're a part of the I don't know if you've got your membership to the Screen Actors Guild yet, but once you do,
I wish.
When you do, you'll be able to go to you can probably go find where your union hall is and network with other people. It's a huge thing, and it's unfortunate. Why did you have something to say? I'm sorry, my bad.
No, that's the almost ending it.
Oh yeah. That's not almost ending. That's the pause. That's the tell me to pause.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
Yeah, just because I gotta poo. I gotta take a poo, and I can't do it on camera.
All right, then hold on. Let me pause this shit and then go shit and come back. I gotta piss anyways, and then we'll keep going. Fuck it.
Let's finish it because Noelia and Ellen are gonna be here soon.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, and it's been at least an hour, so we did our obligation. We made it through another week. Last thing I want to leave you with: how many liberal actors and writers had to go to their conservative dads and talk about unions? And how many of those fathers must have got a fucking hard on instantly and was like, "What? You want to talk about unions? I'll talk about unions all fucking day."
See, I don't see. You gotta. Conservative isn't the word I would use. If the word you were thinking was rural, sure. But people who identify as conservative do not like unions. The people that
no. Conservative politicians don't like unions. Conservative voters love unions. Those are the ones who, at least 80s and 90s, unions.
It depends, and the reason why I say it depends is because there's different types of conservatives, right? You have your rural, your working class, laborer types who are ostensibly pro-union, all that shit, whatever, the on board, fine, whatever. Then you have, your Jan 6 types, right? And when I say the Jan 6 types, I'm not talking about their lunatic bullshit. I'm talking about the types of people that could go to a rally at 1 p.m. on a Tuesday in DC. These aren't people that are working, that have to go to work. These are your white collar workers. These are your car dealership owners. These are your suburbanites. Those people, they do not like unions. Those people do not like unions. And so the umbrance I take with conservative, when you use a conservative, is because conservatism, ostensibly as an ideology, does not like collective action and collectivism that unions provide. There's going to be some like of the rural working class people that
gotta poop. Gotta poop.
Fine. You can go. I'll do the sign off, but say your goodbyes first.
Goodbye, everybody. I'll stay here for the sign off.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching the rundown, where we basically run down some shit that's going on the week. I put a little more effort. I kept a little, at least for this, I kept a keep. I used Google Keep Notes to keep a list of some things that I wanted us to talk about. I'm planning on doing this again. No pressure on you to do it, Brian. I'm happy to do a little research and carry the show.
I was gonna say, send me a link or a way to contribute to that, and I'll definitely add subjects myself.
I'm more than happy to. Honestly, I would say just going forward, you can just keep a notes app yourself, and just we'll just get through as many subjects as we can before we call it a night. But
I won't lie, I enjoy you bringing them up, so I'll probably just send them to you.
Hell yeah!
And you could just keep us on track.
Yeah, just Instagram. Send me something on Instagram and say add to the list.
Cool.
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching the rundown. Below me here, or if you can see it, is HIMediaTV/donate. Your boy is broke. Could use the help. Also, channel members get access to the rundown 2 days early. I'm going to be uploading this to our Discord channel immediately after we're done, but it comes out Saturday at 10 in the morning. So if you want to hear it early, please consider doing that.
And Jackson says hi.
Hi, Jackson. I like Jackson a lot. For everybody listening, that link is himedia.gg/donate. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to the rundown as part of I Can't Shut Up Unless You Tell Me To here on HIMediaTV. I am joined by the illustrious Brian No.2 Ortega. Thank you so much for listening. I will catch y'all later. Homeboy's got to go shit.
Bye, y'all. Love you guys.